Joining us now to break down the latest on the trial is former Brooklyn Assistant DA Imran Ansari. Imran, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So the jury sent home for the day after asking the judge to reread instructions. So how quickly does this get going in the morning?
Yeah, I think Judge Mershon's going to jump right in it. You know, he's going to read back that testimony, or have the court reporter, I should say, read back the testimony of David Pecker, Michael Cohen, as specified by the jury. Of course, once the jury was let go for the day, the attorneys were hashing out the portions of testimony they think should be read back to the jury. So the court reporter is going to start with that. I think it's about 30 minutes worth of testimony expected to be read back to that jury. And then, of course, they've asked for his jury instructions. And I don't think we have quite the portions of the jury instructions they want to hear. They want to hear either part of it or all of it, but that could be a lengthy process too. And the judge may want to get some more clarification as to what portions they want read back. Of course, he has to then make that decision, but he is going to give the jury what they want.
You know, and it's interesting when it comes to answering jurors' questions, there's a real art to that on behalf of the judge, right? They have to be very careful not to answer in any way that sort of leads the jurors in one direction or another as to how the judge may personally feel about the case.
Yeah, and absolutely. Now, the jury, the case is in their hands. You know, it's up to them to deliberate and make the ultimate decision on guilt or innocence, or if they can't make that decision, if they're going to be a hung jury on all or some of the counts. The judge will give them guidance, but he's not going to interject himself into that deliberation. He's going to receive those notes, and he's going to do the best to make sure the jury gets what they want in terms of evidence, testimony to lead them to that verdict.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I mean, they want to rehear testimony from David Pecker and Michael Cohen. I mean, what do you make of that request? What do we know so far? Should we be looking into that?
As you know, the reporter stated, you know, we want to try to decipher what these notes mean, but as a trial attorney, I could tell you, you could never quite decipher what the notes are intended. You may think they're going one way, they end up another way. I think it's a logical starting point for the jury to want to hear David Pecker's testimony, and then, of course, Michael Cohen's testimony. We started with David Pecker as the witness, you know, first witness for the prosecution here. He sort of set the stage for later witnesses, and the jury probably wants to go back. And, of course, his testimony is very critical as to what Trump did know or did not know, or what he participated in those discussions with David Pecker and the newspaper.
All right, and obviously the jury's been at this for weeks now. We've got 2 full days basically until the weekend. What's your gut as to when you think we might see a verdict?
Typically, juries want to come back to with a verdict before the weekend. We always see, or we typically see, I should say, a jury rendering a verdict before the weekend. So a Friday, you may get a verdict. But this is a unique case, to say the least. They may take their time, and I think they will take their time with the charges, the multi-count indictment, with the evidence, all that testimony. We may or may not see it before the weekend, but there is a chance that we spill over to next week.
Gotcha. All right. Makes sense. Very well. We appreciate it. Former Brooklyn Assistant District Attorney Imran Ansari, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your perspective. And, of course, stay with Fox 5. As soon as we have the word the jury has reached a verdict, we'll bring you continuing coverage both on air and online at fox5ny.com.